We're Malin and Johan, a Swedish couple that have been sailing full-time since 2016. After 3.5 years of sailing, we welcomed our daughter Vera on board. Our latest adventure is to build our dream boat, a 50-foot sailboat that we're building ourselves on our farm. Welcome aboard and please subscribe for weekly episodes.
So this is the last of the fiberglass, 3 more rolls of 450 grams and 2 barrels of epoxy and hardener. So in total 540 kilos of epoxy. So it will be a challenge to get this into the barn.
But and how good that everything has arrived now.
Yes.
All the main ingredients that we need for the lamination product.
Wow. That's a lot of epoxy to roll out with the roller.
So how do you get the epoxy out of this barrel?
We need to buy a pump to connect here, and then we will transfer it to the smaller
jugs.
That we have inside.
Or a jerry can. So.
Yeah. No, the ones that we already have for the epoxy. We'll use those for this. Mm-hmm. They're 25-liter containers. Yeah, that we already have for the epoxy.
Resin 225 kilos. Hardener slow. Hardener 45 kilos to and so the fiberglass.
Yeah. That's the fast hardener. So we have both normal hardener and the fast hardener, depending on what the temperature will be when we're laminating. And you could also mix between the two to like dial in the correct type of hardener.
And that's depending on temperature.
Yeah.
So each barrel weighs 225 kilos, or 496 pounds. Let's see how this goes.
So that worked quite well.
Yeah, I mean, it's very heavy to get it up. You know, you just need to have it past that pivot point so you get it up so it's balanced.
Yeah.
Then it's actually okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Så du får ta ner den här. Okej.
Okej.
Ska jag lägga något under?
Nej. Lite till.
Okej, och så vinklar jag här. Då har du väckt halmen. Då kör vi den med den. Så. Okej. Okej. Ja. 1, 2, 3.
Second one.
Yes.
Inside.
And we place the barrels on these cedar planks just to keep them off the floor so that the concrete or the cold from the concrete doesn't transfer as easily to the epoxy. Since it's pretty warm in here and the walls are insulated but the floor isn't, so we don't want them directly onto the concrete. Okej, ska vi snurra in så som vi gjorde sist, Malin? Då tar vi ut den först, tänker jag.
Så.
Okej, inga fingrar. Ett, två. Så. Ja, men det blir bra.
Scratch the wall, but that's fine.
Ja.
During the weekend, we went to the forest. It's always a good idea to go out in nature. The lighthouse has been guiding ships since 1916, but it's not in working order anymore.
Ska vi gå ner och kolla här?
Nej. Ja.
Ska vi gå upp här? Ja. Alltså, där här uppe. Här är.
Men jag ska gå här.
Jag ska lägga ner.
Back in the barn, Johan pulled out the screws and washers from the shear line.
Pappa, titta. Pappa, titta. Titta, pappa.
Jag får se. Vad är det du har ritat där?
Ja, titta där. Pappa, titta på mig.
Du får inte rita på det.
Den där båten kan... Du gör den... Däcket kan bara... Dit. Men mamma ner.
Kan den ramla ner?
Nej, det kan mamma ner.
Ja.
Det är en kok här.
One pretty strange thing when you're sanding epoxy is that it's not always obvious what paper and what machine that has the highest removal rate. So like in this case, I've been trying this Mirka Galaxy paper, 8 or 40 grit ceramic paper. So really a nice paper, but it has a much lower removal rate on the epoxy compared to the 3M Cubitron, equivalent to 80 grit. It would be the same if I had 80 grit in the Galaxy paper. It's just that sometimes it's actually faster to using a finer grit paper. You will get a higher removal rate. And I think that is because this more coarse grit paper, it can't really dig in. The surface area that actually connects to the surface is lower with this paper compared to the 80 grit. When you're sanding wood, the 40 grit would be much faster because wood is much softer, so this paper can really dig into it. But on epoxy, it's more or less scratching the surface, so it doesn't remove as much as when you're using the 80 grit. But going above 80, I think 60 to 80 is a good middle ground.
Jag hjälper dig. Oj. Åh. Hej. Ska vi ha någon annan? Kan du bära den?
Den här är det buss.
Kan du bära den?
Ja, det gör det.
Åh, så stark.
So as you can see, I'm using this sort of plastic. This is normally used when you're insulating walls in house construction, like a vapor barrier, air barrier, to prevent hot air to condensate in the walls. As you can see, it doesn't go all the way down to the floor, but I will fix that later with another piece that I will tape to this. And we will do the same thing along the floor as we have up in the roof using these wooden strips. So I'll put a few screws into the concrete to be able to put it at a slight angle like this to make it a bit easier to move the platform around and the ladders and everything, a bit more floor space. And yeah, it will be interesting to see how well this will work. In a way, you could say that the air that is trapped between the plastic and the outer wall will act as some sort of insulation. Obviously not as well as real insulations in the wall, but I'm pretty confident that this will be a lot better than having nothing at all. And also the volume in here will be a lot smaller, less air to heat up. I'm thinking right now that we will leave the ceiling without plastic to have somewhere for the air to go, so we have some sort of ventilation in here. Obviously there will be some heat going up there as well, but we will be quite many people in here breathing moisture, and we want to keep it warm in here, but we don't want to have a really high moisture or humidity level, so we need to have some sort of ventilation as well. We will have the forced air diesel heater sitting out here, the 30 kilowatt one, and that has a heat exchanger where the exhaust fumes are going on the outside of the building,
So that way we will, it will suck in the air for the burner from in here, but it will exhaust the exhaust on the outside, and that way it will change some of the air that is in here. But in addition to all of that, we will also use dehumidifiers, and we will have buckets with this type of chemical, if you call it that, powder, that traps humidity from the air, and so it will drip down into buckets. So we'll place a few of those out in here, and we will also use meters, so we can check in different places in here what the humidity level is and how warm it is. So this is where we're going to keep our diesel heater, and right now I'm just trying to figure out a good way to not creating a fire hazard with the exhaust pipe here, because we need to run that through this wall, and I'm thinking I'm going to use this insulating pipe and run the exhaust pipe through this, so that the surface that goes through the wall that might be close to the wood will be cool. So I have enough of this pipe so we can have it encapsulating the whole pipe. Maybe not the full length on the outside, but at least all the parts that are anywhere close to the wooden wall. And then on the outside, of course this will be facing upwards. We have this rain cap on top. And as you can see, I have this hose connected to it, and I will run that in under the center of the hull, so it will fill the hull from inside with hot air, and then it will be expelled on the sides in theory, and I'm thinking that will give a more even warmth inside the room.
We'll be adding some tape to the exhaust pipe. But the heater is running and the pipe doesn't get too hot.
I'm going over this wall that we windproofed a year ago. Some of these wind barrier cloths has come off and it lets the wind come straight in. So I'm fixing that, then I'm gonna put up one over this old window that is broken. It's really letting the wind in, so try to fix those small wind leaks and get the barn as windproofed as possible.
The tent wall, if you can call it that, on the other side is almost finished, and I've been organizing a bit on this side. So today or later on today we'll put plastic here as well, down to the floor. We have decided that we will put plastic over both gates. This one, obviously, because there's a lot of holes in this one, but also on that one to make it really airtight. So thanks a lot for watching another week of preparations for the big day when we start laminating the hull. I really hope we can get going with that soon. And as always, a massive thank you to all of our patrons. This wouldn't have been possible without you guys. See you next week. Bye bye.